today. We're gonna be decoding despair. We're gonna jump right into it. I got a couple of videos to play after this, but let's start. So, first starting with the colors of despair. What colors represent despair? You got purple and you got green. Those are the main colors. As you see, we have this figure here, the Joker, legendary. We're gonna use him again, but let me tell you what about the purple and the green. So, the purple being occult knowledge, higher information, higher magic, things on a higher level. And when you're dealing with these things, 9 times out of 10, you have access to it, and the masses, those around you, whether it be your family, your friends, your lovers, they don't. So you see things for what it is. Next is the empathy, which is the green. A lot of people associate it with the heart and love, because it's the heart chakra. Just like purple is dealing with the third eye or the purple chakra. But with the green, it's not necessarily just love, it's empathy, the ability to be able to feel others, Now, if you put those two colors together, purple and green, you have a feeling of feeling of others on a higher level. And what game are we in? Which is also a representation of the Joker, the chaos, from what he's seen from the establishment, from the system. Most times when you look at the villain in most superhero movies or cartoons or anything of that nature, their narrative is always that from which is truth. And the hero usually represents the system, the oppressing power. So let me also, important colors, the white and the black. The white represents the right side, which is the masculine. It is the electric. And the black represents the chaos. It's the the feminine and the magnetic, which is also the chaos because it's the black. Like the white represents the order. So that's why Joker is important. Now, since we on the term of him, what does that have to do with despair? He was all about despair and chaos and pointing out the people of how they are. So let's play this. See there? On the rights to this video, anything I'm using is for education purposes only.
Their morals, their code.
Listen to what he's saying.
See, their morals, their code. It's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
Okay, so why was that important? That was important because things are extremely tough right now, and people are at the breaking point. A lot of people are past the breaking point, and they are just doing the most as far as with the pressure, the chaos. They're being pushed. I saw this on Aquarius Maximus page. Wait, before I get to this, hang on. I had to ask ChatGPT what is his definition of despair. I said, what is despair? Despair is a profound sense of hopelessness and loss. It's the feeling you get when you believe that there is no way out of your difficulties, no solution to your problems, and no light at the end of the tunnel. It's a state of mind where optimism and hope seem impossible, often accompanied by deep sadness or depression. Here are some key aspects of despair. Hopelessness. The belief that no matter what you do, nothing will improve or change for the better. Emotional pain. Intense feelings of sadness, sorrow, and anguish that can feel overwhelming and unrelenting. Loss of purpose. A sense that life has no meaning or direction, leading to a lack of motivation and pursue goals or engage in activity, lacking those things. Isolation. Feeling alone in your suffering as though no one else can understand or help. Physical symptoms. Despair can also manifest in physical ways, such as fatigue, insomnia, changes in appetite, or aches and pains. Despair is often associated with major life changes or traumatic events, such as the loss of a loved one, severe illnesses, financial ruin. Pay attention to financial ruin and severe illnesses or other significant setbacks. It's common human experiences when prolonged can lead to serious mental health issues, including depression and anxiety. Understanding and addressing despair typically involves seeking support from others, whether through friends or family or professional help, and finding ways to regain a sense of hope and purpose. Okay, so now let's talk about the etymology of despair. The word despair has its origins in Latin language. Here's a breakdown of its etymology. Latin word for despair comes from the Latin term deceberare. D is a Latin prefix meaning down from or away. Spera means to hope. So basically, it comes from the basically down hope. Hope is down. That's what it is. And why is that important? Because what's happening out here right now? What's happening out here right now is you have so much chaos. People are having mental battlefields, and it's a lot going on with them in their financial. That's why I said pay attention to the financial issues and the financial circumstances of the many. And you can always tell what the many is on by looking at what they post about and what's the trends, what's happening on a social mass level. What are the common denominators? So things that you see a lot of right now in music and entertainment, you see a lot of money, 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 money. Only mess with people who have money, and a lot of people out here in reality don't have it like it is because inflation and the devalue of the dollar is taking the money away. Not that it was ever real money that we've been using for a while. I'm pretty sure y'all already know these are promissory notes. Now, let's go back to this. That was interesting. From Aquarius Maximus. She was saying, over the course of the past few weeks, I've been hearing a lot of stuff with black men already, especially fathers. There have been untimely deaths. And she said the USA has a 5 of diamonds, or a 5 of, I believe that's a 5 of clubs, or maybe a 5 of spades. I don't know, black diamond. To see the judgment come in this card associated with black men or men of color because it has a 9 in diamonds. A black, I believe that is spades, but Instagram be messing up. In Mars. So men, if you are on a path of character building, you will be fine. If you have karma you are grappling with, you will come face to face with it. Okay, she said the book Coaching, if you're ready to clear that karma, she is pretty good when it comes to the cards. Shout out to her. Now, the reason why I read this as important because the men are the target, especially so-called black men, melanated men, men of color. The reason why is the target because we are the children of the sun. We come from, the black woman, the so-called black woman, which is been labeled as God of this planet. You feel me? Because it's the first. She is the first. Everything comes from her. You get what I'm saying? On a genetic level, and it's as above, so below, as within, so without. All of these things. So, the reason why that is important is because for men, we have to start, one, take accountability. Got to take accountability for all circumstances, whether it's directly yours, which is the most, and indirectly yours, because you always have to look at what part you are playing. This is not going to be a game for the weak. A lot of people is being cut out, especially men. But when men change, then we pass it on to the women. And then the women pass it on to the children because of what we put in instilling in them. We plant the seeds because we give the seeds. The women are the soil that nurtures the seed. It's what helps it grow. So that's what the women are. Now, it's important to know that this system knows this. This system has been attacking and has been at us for the longest. And just with the last couple of generations, you know, it's been something more serious. Um, Recently, I would say probably since the 2000s has been the drug thing more heavy. I feel like the drug thing is more heavy than it was with the crack era and um, with you know, with the 80s and the heroin in the 70s, you know, when they was coming from Vietnam. I believe it's more because it's more socially acceptable and it's more pushed by the pharmaceuticals. These pharmaceutical drugs are still drugs. I believe that that is a big factor on top of the mental health and the circumstances financially. Because things are so tough financially, a lot of men are being, they can't deal with it. The emotional intelligence is low and they spazzing out. They spazzing out on their partner, which is leading to a lot of domestic violence, especially a lot of women are deciding to move on. Or if they doing their own thing. If which you do have some women also spazzing out with the domestic violence, but it's a whole lot more men. Now, I say this because I believe it's going to increase, and it's important for the men to get it together and be on point. Because again, I feel like Uncle Sam in this system puts a lot into keeping us separate. That's why the popular talks are usually about, you know, the podcast where it's showing men versus women, usually us, you know, women versus men. These are all the posts. These are all the podcasts. This is what circulates most of the time. The music is the same. So if that is the case and it's mostly targeted towards us, we got to know that it's a reason why they're trying to keep us apart. You know, like really think beyond it. And if you know that, then you should be doing everything to stay with. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. I'm gonna play something else that goes with this. Is important because you gotta have a positive. This is also from Aquarius Maxis.
There's going to be leaders that come out of these colonies from these different areas coming together. It might be in United Nations within America. You know what I mean? Just coming together. We're going back during the time of the Confederacy that existed here before they colonized here, and that was within the Native Americans had the first Confederacy here. You know what I mean? So this is the land of the Confederacy, like having different tribes or different colonies come together to try to figure out how they're going to work together. That is the natural land of this law. I mean, the natural law of this land here. Mm-hmm. So we're returning to and we're coming to what America was meant to be. There's going to be leaders that come.
I believe this is definitely going to happen. And it's going to happen from the despair. That's the reason why we're talking about this. Khalid be having a lot of good information talking about the sun, and when he talks about those solar flares, I feel like it's turning up the game. It's turning up the system, not just the artificial system, but also the natural system because of the sun. It's also turning up your cells. So I believe that these things will increase and we will get into tribes. Things are gonna fall apart and we gonna vibe with who we tribe with or tribe with who we vibe with. You know, so it's gonna be important. But before then, there's gonna be some despair, um, and that's why. Oh well, I want to play this first.
You might have to eat differently.
Hey, listen to what he's saying because it's all on point. To really change, you might have to eat differently.
Like you might have to change friends.
You might gotta change your friends, change your circumstances in your social settings.
You might have to study sleep, you know,
hey,
to get from B's to A's. It's like the difference between good and great, it is underestimated by most humans. It's like if you want to be good, you can be talented and be good. You can wake up and be good. Like, but if you good and you just wake up and be good, you're not gonna beat me. You're never gonna beat me if you're not if you're not doing 70-hour weeks on your craft, right? And it's like that is such a hard thing to communicate to people, and it's even more difficult when people are talented. When people get a B easy, think they got it. They think they got it, you know, and it's like, I'm telling you, it's like, it's not easy, but it is really simple to change your life, right? People don't realize that one bad night fucks up 10. You can't get drunk and fucking not work out on Saturday. You can't, you mess up 10 days. Like somebody else is getting past you in that time. It's like the level of sharpness and discipline that it takes to get to the heights that you dream of is really simple. It's just, you might have.
I feel like this was so important, so crucial, man. Like seriously. Yeah, this was so important, man, because it really takes that. And you just, no matter how many times you bump your head, no matter how many times you fail, you got to keep pushing forward. And this is how you beat despair. This is how you beat despair. This is what made Batman whoop Joker ass. You feel me? This is the what's going to take, you know, for so-called black men to get out of this lump. You feel me? That we are in, and our people overall. It's going to take the despair and taking the work ethic to work out of despair. To, you feel me? To really put that other shit to the side, man, and just move forward with it, you know, to go hard. So, yep. Oh, one more thing I'm gonna leave y'all with. Make sure y'all go check out the Breathe Better course. Wellness minds with the S.com, and come to the Breathe Better Be Better course, man. Man, it's gonna help you transform, like for real, for real. All right, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be smooth. Peace.